Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stoner. And we're here with a very special episode of VSW Podcast. Tonight, we're going to preview Limitless Wrestling's Prize Possession. Coming up Saturday, November 23rd in Yarmouth, Maine. It's going to be a big event. I'm going to give a call right now into Disable Wolf, and we will preview of this show.
Hello.
Is this Disable Wolf?
Yes, it is.
Very good. We're here. It's been one hell of a night. These stupid asses, they keep hounding and harassing me. Made me knock over my pipe, break the pipe. One hell
Ooh,
of a night here at the VSW headquarters. But I was just telling the fans we have a very special podcast episode. Tonight we're
absolutely we do.
covering prize possession. It's going to be a great time in Yarmouth, Maine.
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
I mean, I'm telling you, since the minute we started with Maine, it all boils down to what taking place. And if you remember the original thing, we were supposed to see Anthony Green, you know, um, defend his title against Chris Statlander. Obviously, the pandemic happened, never happened. Anthony Green then relinquished the title. Christian Casanova then won the title through the Vacation
Yeah.
Land Cup. He then lost the title to Daniel Garcia, and Anthony Green recaptured that title from Daniel
And
Garcia. Now he is the first ever two-time Limitless World Champion. Now
oh,
this puts him in a really good predicament, but there's some issues here for me. Okay, first of all, Alec Price, number one contender right off the bat, okay? He deserves it. He's been in this stage before when he fought in the triple threat against Daniel Garcia and AC Romero.
I remember that. He
Okay,
got
we were
screwed
there.
there.
We were there. He was inches away from capturing gold then. Fast forward, he was brutally attacked. JT Dunn. He faces JT Dunn, number one contenders match. He wins. He's now the number one contender. We all know the prestiges of this title and what happens to the people that lose it. If
Good things
Anthony,
go on to happen to people who lose the title.
oh, a lot of things happen. I mean, their first champion ends. Look at him in AEW right now. MJF.
He's an icon. What can't happen to such a nice professional young man?
Anything can happen in this night. It's going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy night of professional wrestling. I'm really looking forward to it though. Like I said, since they announced the show, we have a great card though. It really is. I mean, I just talked a little bit about the main event. We'll go back into that later because I want to talk about a little bit about a promo that was released earlier. Another great matchup on this card is gonna be Kevin Blackwood versus Jake something.
Ooh, these two have a little bit of history. Right when the fans came back in that historic night, Patience is a Virtue, where every match was a mystery. They have quite a bit of feud because if you remember, Daniel Garcia defended against a mystery opponent, and it was something to remember.
It was, and that was a great show. Patience was a virtue, and it was Daniel Garcia defending his title against Jake something. Kevin Blackwood, of course, ringside, did what he did best, and that was protect Daniel Garcia and that title. We saw a little riff with him and Daniel Garcia at the last show that we went to. Now, that wasn't the last Limitless show, let me not say that. We didn't get out to fresh blood. But
Yeah.
the one we did go out to is the one I'm referring to, and that was the one
Eu-
previous to that, where Anthony Green did win the title.
Euphoria.
Yep, that would be the show. But like I said, we had car issues during Fresh Blood. Got stuck out there, almost stuck out there. It was another story, another terrible story for another time. But yeah, Jake something tremendous superstar. I've loved him since we've seen him versus
Uh,
Josh Briggs. And please
Please
come
come
back.
back.
He gave a tremendous match in that. I believe it was the main event of the evening.
Yeah, it was in right near Fox Gillette Stadium.
Yep. Um.
That really kicked off started that would have been way different for us had the pandemic not happened.
Oh, for sure, for sure. That was such a great show in many aspects. A lot of great talent there, and a lot of great matchups and people we
Last time
got
we
to
saw
know.
OC and Strat in the New England area too.
We got to meet a lot of new people that we actually follow now. People like TJ Crawford,
Feel bad for the guy.
MSP,
Big Dan.
Big Dan, of course, Little Mean Kathleen. All these people now are like household names in the independent scene. But I'm gonna go with like I said, there was a riff between Kevin Blackwood and Daniel Garcia, and he wasn't there ringside during his title defense against Anthony Green. Is my point here. And he tried to come out, he got knocked out, and it all just happened. Now, I don't see Danny Garcia on this card. I don't know what's happening with him. I'm sure we'll hear word, but what I'm saying is Kevin Blackwood is now alone, which is fine. He's very capable of being a lone wrestler. We've seen him wrestle all over the place alone. You know, we saw him at VXS, No Peace Underground, all sorts of West Coast and East Coast promotions. I personally think Kevin Blackwood's going to pull the victory out here against Jake something. That's just
That's
my
what I
personal
think
opinion.
too, Versace, because Jake something might just be a few times a year type of wrestler that Randy brings in full limitless. He usually breaks out big indie to low mainstream promotions a few times a year. He rotates them like we saw the likes of Dan Hawson, Warhorse, Alley Catch, and many more. So
Definitely,
I think
definitely. Well,
Blackwood
you never
will
know
have
who you're going
something
to
to
see
prove
at
without
Limitless Man.
Garcia.
You never know who you're going to see. We got surprised when Fandango popped up.
I know. We
All
saw
sorts
him
of
in
things.
Chaotic in our hometown too.
Oh, yeah. Now, this brings me to another great matchup we have a trios match. Rip
Ooh,
Bison is teaming up with MSP The Vibe
ooh,
against RK, which is Aver Everett, Ricky Smokes,
ooh.
and a new person that's kind of been on the Limitless scene.
Not new to us. We've been seeing this person a lot in Chaotic is Aaron Rock.
Yes. Not new to the whole scene, but new to the Limitless scene, and that is Aaron Baroque. And we've seen him in Beyond, we've seen him in Limitless. I mean, Chaotic, you are right, and now we're seeing him in Limitless. And I think this is a great trios team. Big fan of Ricky Smokes. This kid's really
We're a
proving
huge
it.
fan of Ricky Smokes, the Smoke Show, baby.
He's really killing it on the scene as well. Really can get underneath the crowd's skin. He's really good. Also, you got Ava Everett. Her new attitude, her attitude was great after in the pandemic when she first came back to Limitless and turned on Davey. It has gotten even better now under her artist
Like the old Platinum
gimmick.
Honey Ava never existed.
Oh no, this is an all new Ava, and she is meaner than ever.
Whenever we go to a show, she's never happy at all, Versace.
Oh no, she didn't even sign. Oh, she did sign my book, but I don't know. I think she signed the wrong page or whatever. She wasn't in a good mood. Never in a good
Well, I
mood.
try to look out for Love Dog, you know.
Oh yeah, poor Love Dog. But it's gonna be an interesting matchup. I've seen Rip Bison. Obviously, we've seen him tag up multiple times before with Perry Von Vicious. Very good. He did a great job. I thought they were a great team, Mad. Even before that, when he was Tomahawk and he was with them in the NCWs, did very good tagging
Once
up.
he ditched the tomahawk mask, he's been a huge ripping ass kicker.
Yeah. And singly, he's been killing it with fighting people like Big Beef and so forth.
That was one of my favorite matches. Is that strap match? Kind of. We'll talk more about Big Beef later, but that match was really good for Rip. It include his match in Patience with Virtue with Brad Cashew too.
And he fought the Cowboy,
Yeah,
so
the one they call Manders.
he's had some great power matches. It's going to be interesting seeing him team bag up with a very great tag team. MSP, household name man.
When you think of Limitless, you think of MSP.
Exactly. You can't think of them without it. So, their household name. They're going to be with Rip. I think this is going to be one hell of a match.
Especially when they got major heat on Ava. They've been on Ava's radar since that night when Danger Kid, I just posted that short, hit that backdrop on Charles Mason and Ava once Love Doug got his revenge and hit Ava with the victory. She's been embarrassed. She's been trying to get back at MSP ever since.
Most definitely. And with this, though, I am going to predict that Rip Bison and MSP take the victory. I just feel like MSP have a lot to prove. They did lose that pinnacle match against Garcia, and
Blackwood that
that would
cost the
basically,
tag titles.
yeah, it was the future of the tag division. I think this, they've gotten a little bit more of a drive now, a real drive, and they've really gotten into the vibe. The fans are into the vibe. I think they've really found their niche now, and I think they're going to pick up this victory.
Absolutely. They've been picking up a lot of momentum since they had their losing streak when they lost to Garcia and Blackwood.
Exactly. Now, let's move on to the next match. It's going to be a great match. Challenge accepted. It's going to be leader of the Scrungy Squad, Becca, against one of your favorite wrestlers, Brad Cashew.
Smart man, 4.0 GPA of Boston University. He has like it's like a Marvel alternate universe with him. He's a lot different in Limitless than he is in Chaotic.
Oh, yeah, he is. He is. But you got to remember, he's also holding gold in Chaotic.
Oh, yeah, that New England Championship. And check out this Sunday the Balance of Power in the VSW headquarters hometown when he's in the main event versus JT Dunn and Eddie Edwards in a fantastic main event.
Great matchup. But now he's going to be in a different matchup, and this is against Becca. She's a very fierce competitor. She's eaten up the industry across the board from beyond all the way here. She's been all over the place. I'm seeing her name everywhere. Dark, you name it, she's on it now. Killing the industry, and she's going to be
She
hungry
went
for
from
this
a
victory.
shy, basic gimmick only in low tire promotions, just started right before the pandemic. It's like she used the pandemic to get on her promo work and become her own scrunchy gimmick, and it's been working out wonders. Her stock has risen.
Oh, she really has, and she's got a lot of great training and trainers behind it, starting out at Bell Time with Bew Douglas. And then moving on to, New England Pro Academy with Chase Del Monte. And you can see all the work. And, doing seminars with other great wrestlers, I think has also helped her. And she soaks it in. She soaks in what she learns. She takes it to heart, and then she applies it. And you can see this. Every match gets better and better. Everything that she learns gets better and better. She's one of
She
those
just
just
came
wrestlers that's just going to keep getting better and better. And there's no limit to how far she can go in the industry.
and she helped her best friend Davey with the Sea Stars get rid of Mr. Van Vliet there for the rest of the. Oh, I'm sorry, John Alba for the rest of the year.
Oh yeah,
And we missed a hell of a women's match between her and familiar face from Beyond, Trisha Dora.
we did. Unfortunately, again, we had car issues, but Brad Cashew though, he's no stranger to tough matches, and at the end of the day, he's another one coming out of New England Pro Academy. He has a lot of
Absolutely,
training.
he has a good track record. Very smart. He likes to rub it in the Pine Street. I think it's hard for him because he's so used to like the city life and going through these suburban rural life in Maine.
Well, you've been to
It's hard
BU.
for them to
You've been
translate, but
you've been to BU. You know how it's like.
yeah, exactly. They don't understand him, and he doesn't understand the limitless faithful.
That's okay though. With this match though, I think I am gonna give it to. I think I'm gonna give it to Brad Cashew. I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna surprise everybody. I think he's gonna pull out the victory here.
It's going to be a way better match than their Harmon match with 30 seconds. That's like that WrestleMania match with Daniel Bryan against Sheamus, which ironically kicked off the Yes movement in WrestleMania 28. But this could give Cashew a whole bit of momentum skyrocketing through the rest of the year and into 2022.
Most definitely, and I think eventually the fans are gonna start to understand him. Remember Alec Price? The fans didn't understand him in the beginning, and now they understand him very well.
Yeah, at least in the Pine Straight. In the White Eagle, though, him and Becca are kind of hated.
Well, like I said, the roles are reversed. Brad's hated in Maine. These guys are loved in Maine. Come to Mass, everything's changed.
Absolutely, Versace. Are you ready
That
to move
is
on?
wrestling. I am, and the next match is going to be JT Dunn, the savior of pro wrestling, against Anthony Henry.
This should be a great match. We are very familiar with JT Dunn. He kind of used the pandemic to heal himself. But
Did you,
boy, he's turned into like the most hated heel in all New England.
didn't you even take the pledge?
Did I take the pledge? I don't think I did. I need to get on that.
I heard you did take the pledge. I heard it from a few of the people.
Ooh. The Wolf does like JT Dunn. Like I respect his saviorism, how he tries to be different compared to the pre-pandemic JT Dunn.
Oh, to be
And he
honest,
is
I mean
so
he's
despised wherever he goes. I think it's hilarious.
he's really put himself out there right now. Yes, he's in Limitless right now. Yeah, of course he's in Chaotic. He was world champion, lost it to Davey. Runs the unit. But we've also seen him in other promotions. New England All Stars, was it?
Yeah, when he attacked Teddy Goods and became their second champion.
Exactly. We also saw him in the Royal Rumble with Trigger OG, and the Big City Rumble rather for NCW.
Yeah,
And he's been in other promotions. So I mean, he's really putting his name out there. He's really showing everybody what he's about and how good of a wrestler he can be. I mean, we've even seen him on AEW television with none
this.
other than CM Punk.
How ironic. Both their gimmicks are very similar. Both are abstained from alcohol. Both claim to be saviors.
It's very, very, it was kind of a moment because, yes, I've always thought of JT Dunn as just kind of running with the CM Punk gimmick for a little bit, and seeing them two together was something. And we were at that show, that AEW
Oh,
Dynamite
we
that
were.
night, in
And
the
he's in the
Dark
middle
and the
of what is one of the
Rampage.
best feuds in wrestling right now between Eddie Kingston and CM Punk.
Well, Eddie Kingston's really killing. I mean, did you read that or hear about that? The article he wrote.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it was really intense, but it's what it's about, man. And we know it. I mean, we run shows, we see how these guys get and how passionate they can be.
And that's our job, or at least my job in the VSW, that grow more fans into indie wrestling. And I think it'll work way better in 2022 for us.
Oh, it will, it will. Like I said, we got other things in the works, but
Like I said, guys who's listening right now, we're going to try to really focus on NCW Chaotic and Yarmouth Limitless from now until 2022 and beyond. Those are our core promotions. I think you can agree with that, Versace.
almost stuff. I mean, there's a lot of great promotions in the area and even outside of the area. But we can only do so much with holiday seasons coming, traveling, cost of gas, and just not enough time. There's only so many shows you can do in every weekend. But yeah, we're gonna focus on that, and we got some other, like I said, some other things in the works. You just gotta follow the YouTube. You'll see all the fun, great stuff that is going on. But yes, back to the match to say, Wolf. And you got Anthony Henry here on this side, another veteran in the game, kinda.
Teamed up with JT Drake in that banner in the anniversary show against MSP, where it had a holy shit moment where JT Drake kissed Danger Kid, and Anthony Henry looked really good. He's been a Limitless original, disappeared for a little bit, came back.
It's gonna be a very good match because JT Dunn is also a Limitless original. In some of the early pay-per-views, matches, and shows, you can definitely find him there. He will say Limitless is one of the houses that he's built. Um, so this will be a great match. I am gonna go with the Savior JT Dunn.
I would agree with you, Versace. This is another one because I think Limitless is going to try to create long term storylines into their WrestleFest New Year's Day night at 9 o'clock at night for a storyline into 2022 and beyond.
Ah, yes, yes. So this should be a good one, and like I said, that's what I'm going with. And we got another great matchup, and this is one we were talking a little bit about earlier. Somebody really great. Um, a, we're a big fan of him here at the BSW podcast. He's actually going to be doing an interview with us at some point, and that's Big Beef.
Beat the Freak. Oh, hail the almighty Beat the Freak. I cannot. This is the match I'm looking forward to the most besides the main event. Him versus the demonic killer. Halloween is all over. He can go back to his grave. The demonic Charles Mason.
It's going to be a brutal match. We've seen how brutal Charles Mason is. We've seen how hardcore, how extreme, how brutally violent he can be. How he just dragged Becker across the arena. How he's almost killed a love Doug. But we've also seen how brutal Big Beef can be with that strap match with Rip Bison.
That's what captured the hearts of the Pine Tree State is that match with Rip Bison. He had a huge face turn. Beef, and he's been beloved ever since. He
Oh, he
came in to
has,
face Price in that Vacation Land quarterfinal in a losing effort, but he's been on the track to regain himself ever since. Congratulations to Big Beef on the MLW deal. You'll kill it, my friend.
Oh, he most certainly will. He most certainly will. And, like I said, there's nothing that, like I said, it's going to be a very physical, very hard hitting, very extreme matchup. I'm actually giving this one to Beef. He's had a hell of a year. Yes, he's had some great matches in here, but he's also taken his success on the road, even all the way out in Chicago. He was out there during another show that we had trouble getting to, but that
Black Label Pro.
the Black Label Pro show against AG, and that's another like I said, Big B's making a name for himself, and I think he will do great in MLW.
Oh, yeah.
And the next match now is the match that I am most excited for, since it was announced today. My good friend Sydney Bacabella
Hold on,
has.
Versace. Hold on. No John Van Fleet. I mean John Alva. No love, Doug Lipstick. I don't know if we should go, but wait a minute. There's Sydney
One of
Bacabella.
VSW's, if not VSW's, most favorite wrestler, manager, former WWF Hall of Famer, and we have a few of them. It is Sydney Bacabella, and he is brought back to Maine the Slaughterhouse. Now, this is the team of Max Smashmaster
And
and
Mortar.
Mordor.
Mortar is a huge fan of VSW. I love this kid. Ever since he became with Max Smashmaster, great things have been happening for him when he ditched his real name of Cruz.
This is going to be an extreme. Like, these guys are just a wrecking crew. A slaughterhouse is the perfect name because it's going to be a slaughter whenever they're in the ring. But they're against one of the greatest tag teams to embrace the ring in our era. The party, the dance, the
Waves in
action, waves, and curls.
another tag team. We just saw them in the AEW show we went to in Dark Elevation in a losing effort to FTR,
We have, they've captured local gold all the way, to getting on TV. Early in the year, they were the NCW World Tag Team Titles.
which
And
we
like you
sponsored
said,
one of the matches.
and they've been on AEW Dark a few times. It's going to
They've
be a
been
very
in the
interesting matchup, as you know.
new
Slaughterhouse.
promotion too, the Northeast
Yeah.
promotion too, new.
Oh, yeah. With Slaughterhouse here, though, it's going to be a tough upward battle for Waves and Curls. Slaughterhouse is a force to not be reckoned with. I mean,
Oh,
I don't know.
absolutely.
I'm going to pick my good friend, Sydney Bacabella's team. Because when Sydney's out there and Sydney's around, he's going to make sure his team wins. He's going to do the right thing.
And he is despised. The old days of Limitless, his alter ego twin brother Joe Eastman was very hated in the Pine Tree State. They don't understand Mr. Bacabella like VSW does. We have a great understanding for that crazy humor.
Oh, I better tell you now, you might as well bring some cash. He's got these great hats and he's got action figures.
Wow, and LGN?
Yeah, something like that. We're gonna have to get it for the VSW collection and have him sign it.
Hell yeah.
But I am gonna go with the Slaughterhouse on this one. With that's the team of Max Smashmaster and Mordor,
Me too.
and
Really
that is
hope they
gonna.
win. They need new heel managers since our very old friend has disappeared from us, but he'll be back someday.
Yeah, but that's the thing. John Albert only has about a quarter of the brain capacity that Sidney Bacabella has for the understanding of
And
what it needs
Sydney
to take to
understands
win.
us, unlike Alba.
What it needs to take to win. We followed this guy all the way to Williamstown. Now, yeah, he might have not have won out there, but he gave one hell of a battle against Abby Jane.
And we were the only ones in that sweating H2O sauna to root for
Oh,
them. Everyone looked at us like we were murderers.
it was 800 degrees in the H2O center that day. And we went out there just for that one match. Honest to
Yeah.
God,
We ended
we
up staying for IWTV 100 too, so.
we did, but I mean, we went out. We based the whole weekend. We went to VXS the night before. We went to IWTV after, but we based the whole thing on just going to see Sydney Bacabella wrestle with Big Dan Champion and
Big Dan, baby.
another person we got to see in Limitless Wrestling, Travis Huckabee.
And a
Uh,
very good professional wrestler.
we got to see them against Abby Jane and Hella Wicked and some other guy. I forget his name. But
And they couldn't have crashed the party like we hoped.
no,
Cheating,
but but you know what? They did it. They did a great job, and Sydney did the best he could do, and you could just tell he gave more of a fight than Albert could ever wish he could give. So with that being said, like I said, he's gonna do what it has to take for his team to win. If he has to get in the ring and fight, he will. If he has to, he's from an old generation of wrestlers. He knows how to cheat to win and knows how to get away with it. Gotta remember, he's from the southern districts, territories, down in Texas.
And he drove with Andre the Giant too.
He did. He's learned all the tricks of the trade, this guy. Being a driver, doing all that, working with the Von Erichs, learning all the old tricks down there. That's not, going to New England Pro Academy in an air conditioned wrestling arena and learning, from Chase. This is something totally different. This is, on the road 24/7 with basically a slave driver telling you what to do and then showing you how to bump and move in between that.
And Smash Master, don't forget, ever since the pandemic, he helped make Chaotic one of my favorite promotions, Versace.
He really has. He's done another tremendous job. He's one of my favorite wrestlers out there is Max Smashmaster. Ever since I've seen him, and Sydney introduced him as well and used to manage him in other territories. It's been great. So that's why I got to stand firmly behind this team. I'm a big
I
fan of
can't
all
wait.
three of
We
these
might
guys.
be out of the 300 to 500 people in the Amvet Yarmouth barn. Great place for wrestling. We may be the only two people giving them a standing ovation to look like they want to kill us.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be very, 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 very honest with you to say, well, originally I wasn't gonna go to prize possession. As you know, it's going up against AEW Full Gear.
Oh, I know it.
I wasn't gonna go, but then I personally found out about this team coming to Limitless Maine for this show, and I was like, forget about AEW. We can watch that later. We gotta be
We're
here. We gotta.
pulling all night of Versace.
Yes, we will. We'll pull an all nighter. We'll come right home after the drive and then watch the show. And you know what? It will still be a shorter trip than we did when we went to um, the H2O Center. That was like an 8 hour drive through the night. This will be even less than that. Couple hours, 3 hours home, couple hours to
Not
watch
even
it. It'll
no
be fine.
traffic.
No traffic at all. It'll be a great
And
time.
I will not go on Twitter. Will not go on Twitter during the.
Oh, no Twitter, no bird apps, none of that shit. You'll be too busy anyways taking pictures and videos.
Yeah, but we'll pretend like AEW Full Gear isn't happening till we'll have to pretend to be a UK fan.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta remember, not the whole world is seeing it at once. Then, we're gonna go on to our main event of the evening. We started off talking about it, and that is gonna be Anthony Green versus Alec Price. I saw a very interesting, I don't know, unscripted kind of off the camera promo with Anthony Green today, basically talking, telling Alec Price, you are the next best thing, you are the biggest thing, but this just ain't your time yet, kid. And he's still got left to do. But then off the camera, you kind of hear him talking about, does it really even matter? Do the fans even care? Like the fans are behind Alec. Do they even care that AG is a two-time champion? Do they even care that he's a limitless champion? Now,
Uh, he's a tremendous talent. You could tell he's been since he came back to the from the pandemic from 205 Live as August Gray. You could tell some Shawn Michaels and Triple H training at the Performance Center has really enhanced his moveset.
oh yes, but I mean, let me just tell you for a second. I just want to talk to you about this. There might be some chitter chatter, and this happens all the time in professional wrestling. You're gonna see it actually happen a lot real soon because there's a lot of releases. When a wrestler gets released, they come back and they work the territories and they work the shows. Some fans don't like this. They get agitated by this. It dominates the scene. You're gonna see it really soon with Biff Busick. He's gonna come and work in every promotion in New England has that he can get booked
Wait for
for,
that.
and it's gonna happen to all the wrestlers that gets released. That's just what happens. They go back home and they work their shows. They become famous, and now they're gonna go back and do what they do best. thing is, there might be a few critics that don't want AG as champion, but at the end of the day, I ran a poll on my YouTube, I ran another poll elsewhere, and both polls came back positive that the fan base stand 100% behind the limitless world champion Anthony Green. I mean, that's just the facts. Okay, that's the facts from the polls. Now, Alec Price, he's made a tremendous, tremendous turnaround. From being this miserable punk
Miserable
kid.
self kid.
He was a punk. Giving the crowd the fingers and, telling us to fuck off. You know, it's screaming in our faces that it's his time. To now, I think learning a little thing or two. When he comes out, he's a little bit more respectful. There's a few fans that don't like him, and he'll show it back. But for the most part, there's cheers in the crowd, and I think
This
he's
kid
pretty
is
appreciative.
energetic. I love this kid.
He's
Like,
full of
it's
energy.
very hard for me to choose who I want to root for in this match for Sachi, to
These are
be
both
honest
my
with
two
you.
favorite wrestlers. It's gonna boil down to here. It's very hard. I'm a huge fan of both, and I don't want to see either one of them lose. And you know, um, who knows?
Anthony
Maybe
Green has been nothing respectful for us at the VSW since he came back. So
he's been nothing but respectful to us since I met the guy in NCW. He's been a tremendous person. Someone I really have looked up to in this industry throughout everything, through the pandemic, through all the crap that's going on. He's definitely someone that I inspire to I look towards that and just the things that I hear about how he helps in shows and how he helps out and at that show that we are wrestling, he did a tremendous job, helping with the backstage crew. As a promoter myself, I think that's a really important trait to have in somebody in your locker room, and people are blessed to have AG right now because he is definitely enhancing whatever promotion he is working for.
speaking of you as a promoter, Versace, I think for our next project in 2022, all the current promoters and current talent are really gonna love our idea. I don't want to reveal anything yet, but I
Oh
really think they're
yes,
gonna
I
be with
think
us.
our 2022 wrestling ideas will be much different. While KPW will have one last show in the year, 2022 will have some different things, and that is for sure. But that is going to be for another episode, most definitely. And Alec Price. Now, this, like I said, a kid I really watched come up. I watched him at Pandemic in the Dojo, fell in love with the kid in his promos, and just I used to watch his Instagram lives and watch him, just chilling in Prize City, watching, doing his thing, and he really became a fan. He's another one that really has been very supportive of the VSW podcast. We've gotten a great interview with him. He
Yeah,
always has thanked me every time I've seen him. When I saw him, he gave me a really big thank you and a handshake when I saw him out all the way out at Camp Leapfrog, another New Jersey promotion. Yes, we are driving all around the world right now for wrestling. But speaking of that, like I was telling somebody else, yes, I did go to the XPW show out in Rochester, New York, the Rebirth.
well,
Absolutely crazy. It was like a 6 hour, 7 hour drive, I believe. I don't know. It just
with
felt like forever,
matchup
but
wrestling too.
it was well worth it. Great wrestling. Brian
We
Cage, the
still
new
gotta get him
XPW.
out in the Pine Tree State someday.
Oh, yeah. Brian Cage, XPW World Champion. There was some great talent there, too, as well. Some other familiar faces, too, like Matt Cross. I've seen him. He's wrestled in Limitless out in Herman and in other shows for Limitless Wrestling. And always great to see, talent from show to show, promotion to promotion. But this match right here, it all boils down prize possession, title on the line. Like I said, two of my very favorite wrestlers.
They're definitely two of my top five favorite indie wrestlers in New England, or currently as of right now. So
I'm
it's a
tempted
really
to.
hard one for me, Versace.
I'm tempted to wear my AG owned ring jacket to this show. If
But Alec Price has had so many opportunities. He finally gets a one-on-one match for the title.
Yeah, but it's a one-on-one with the absolute best.
The New
I don't
England
know. I
icon,
mean,
Anthony Green.
there's a few things, I don't know how this is gonna play out. Like I said, I really can't call this match.
Maybe someone comes in, debuts to Limitless, and attacks both of them. You never know.
You don't know.
JT Doug could get pissed off and attack both guys.
I don't. There was that too. JT Dunn is not necessarily done with Alec Price. He said he would be there wherever he is. So it could.
Maybe AC's not advertised for this, and he's the icon of Limitless. You think maybe the unit will be formed in Maine
That could happen as well. I
and
don't
every
know.
other New England promotion that they're in except Limitless? So,
But like AG said,
but AC
these are his
turning on
fans.
his
It
two
is.
parents that sit in the second row in every Limitless show we see, him turning on all his friends, that's hard to believe.
I don't know if that would happen. I don't know. But anything is possible in wrestling. So you have to think.
I think there's real big cliffhanger at the end of the show. I just know it.
There is. There's got to be. There's got to be something. But I mean, like I said, I don't know who's going to win. I can't call it. It is right down the middle, 50-50 for me here with AG and Alec Price. But I am going to give you this. I can guarantee this. This is going to be one hell of a banger.
Banger. I think it's going to be at least a 30-minute match, at least.
Almost certainly. I mean, these two could do probably an Iron Man match.
I'd
And,
be down for this.
and I think this is gonna, really be one of those matches that go down in limitless history. So I can't wait for this whole show. Prize possession, Saturday, November 23rd in Yarmouth, Maine.
13th.
It's gonna be great.
Like, if you're on the fence because AEW full gears on, I understand, but do what we're doing. Pretending like it. We're UK fans and we have to watch it in the middle of the night. Pull an all nighter, sleep in, wake up, watch the Patriots the next day. That's what the Wolf plans on doing, but
Or you could just put
try
on,
to put it in.
Or you could just put on your phone, put on AE Dub, and watch both at the same time. But I know this. You don't want to miss live wrestling.
And it might be the last Saturday Limitless show of the year. Who knows? The last Saturday one.
It might be.
So you got to just before the snow hits anyway. So I would say just suck it up and take the ride up. Randy Carver never disappoints. So
No, limitless wrestling never disappoints. You never, you're just always gonna have a great time. It's a great show. Plus, you can't beat the weed prices in Maine. I have to say that. You just can't. Being the Versace Stone, you can't beat it. I mean, the cheapest edibles, cheapest extracts, cheapest flour. It's
and their
insane.
diehard fan, the chef, will be there in action.
Oh yeah. We might have to check out his shop beforehand. Grab some good snacks. Head over to the arena and check out Prize Possession because it's going to be one hell of a Saturday night.
Oh yeah. So it's
Thank you,
to go.
everybody, for listening. Though this has been a great episode of VSW Podcast. Check us back in a little while. We're going to be talking about NCW's WrestleFest.
A big weekend for New England for wrestling in general. I cannot wait. For Sachi, I know you can't either.
Definitely not. Like I said, give us about 5-10 minutes and we will be back in action here on the VSW podcast. But thank you again, everybody, for listening to this one. Versace Stoner out.